All right, y'all. So we are in the final stretch when it comes to Diddy's trial. There could be, and this is not hopeful because it's a crazy situation, but this is people being fast on the timeline. There could be a verdict reached this week in the trial.
The defense had to present their side.
So listen, so on Friday, one of the final witnesses, his name was Brendan Paul. He's the guy that everyone was saying or alleging was the drug mule of Diddy's. Him, and there's one other verifying witness that will get on the stand. Those are the final two witnesses for the prosecution, and they were done with him. Now, the prosecutors told the judge on Friday after everything with their witness that they could potentially rest their case today. Now, if they rest their case today, Diddy's attorney Mark Agnifilio told the judge that the defense could potentially rest their case as early as Wednesday. Now, if this timeline goes as planned, that means closing arguments would happen Thursday, and if closing arguments happen that day, the jury would then begin to deliberate. Now, the jury has up until the July 4th holiday to deliberate, but the judge has been very vocal about, we don't want to be in here after the holiday. We want to get this done before the holiday. And the jurors are regular people like us. I'm sure they want their holiday. So a lot of people think
But how do you say that? How do you, like, it's almost like you're forcing the jury to make a verdict. Like, like, hey, I got plans for 4th of July, so y'all better be up out of here before 4th of July. Don't that sound crazy? Somebody's life?
I mean, to each his own opinion, but the judge has been vocal about staying on the timeline. He has kept this timeline, even down to, court getting out earlier as the weeks transitioned and things of that nature. And none of the attorneys have complained. If they've needed more time for things or whatever, they've said it. Yeah, but so yes, the jury deliberation could go up until the July 4th, but people are pretty hopeful that, not hopeful, but people are assuming that it could end way before that it could end as early next week, possibly this week.
Does the case start back today?
Yes.
Okay.
Court is literally starting right now, and they're going to be ending with those final witnesses on the prosecution side. And then defense will start. So this week, Monday through Thursday, are really important to see when the verdict comes and when these things will or will not happen.
And we don't know if Diddy is going to take the stand at all.
We still
don't know.
We still do not know that. They normally, what will happen is like the defense will start, because they have to, you have to let the court know what you're planning to do. So they should begin having conversations today about like who and if anyone they plan to put on the stand, or like how they plan to do these things. So that'll come. I broke this down in the podcast, The Latest with Loren LoRosa, Friday when I left court after Brendan Paul spoke out about not being an alleged drug mule, and there was some texts from Cassie that were entered into evidence on Friday. And these texts was crazy. One of the texts said, from Cassie to Diddy, it said, you treat me like a hooker, to be honest. You always want to call one, and you have one. This hooker has been here for 10 years. And in the text that they showed on the screen, Diddy responded, wow. And these are other evidence that the prosecution is entering that they're going to center a conversation around. So we should be knowing some things soon.
I don't know why you don't take the stand. I mean, take the stand, throw yourself on the mercy of the court, because everybody forgets in the beginning of this trial, his lawyers did concede to a lot of the conduct, right? They said that. They was like, we concede to a lot of the conduct, but we're just trying to say that a lot of the conduct was consensual and nobody was coerced. So why wouldn't you just get on the stand and like just, man, tell your truth, whatever that truth may be, whether it was drugs, whether it was ego, whether it was power tripping, like whatever it was, just tell your truth. Throw yourself on the mercy of the
court. But
court.
also, if he did something illegal, he doesn't want to lie on that stand when they ask him if he did do something that was illegal or not, against the rules. So he doesn't want to lie and purge himself.
They kind of already proved that. I mean, because you only got to prove 2 predicates, right, when it's a RICO case. The bringing prostitutes in from out of state, that's been proven. For the most part, right? So my point is, when the lawyer said we concede to some of the conduct, what is the conduct they've already conceded to? Because clearly they've already conceded that some of the stuff he's guilty of.
Well, they in the defense's opening statements, they conceded to Diddy being a horrible person and character, and they said if this was a domestic violence case, he would be guilty of that type of assault. They didn't concede to him doing all the things that the government alleged.
Yeah, they didn't concede to anything he's being charged with.
They just separate. Go ahead, MB.
Yeah, no, I was going to say they didn't concede to anything he's being charged with. They just said, yeah, he's a bad person. This was domestic violence. But he didn't concede to the prostitute stuff. He didn't concede to the RICO. He didn't concede to the drugs.
They tried to make it more lifestyle, and this is just how he lives his life, which has been the conversation. Is this a sexual preference conversation, or is this a enterprise, a trafficking ring of things? Like that's what they tried to do. They didn't concede though.
And people normalize things so much that you forget that you may never have even known that what you're doing is an actual crime.
I've been thinking so much about that and hearing these testimonies. Like, there's a lot of things that I'm like, oh, wow. I wonder if he even in doing it knew. Because he's texting a lot of these things. There were also texts entered between, allegedly between them, Diddy, Cassie. They're trying to figure out a situation with one of the escorts. And they're talking about flying him in. They're getting his information and, you know, all these things. And I'm like, wow, I wonder how they have that conversation as a defense. Because what did he actually know in doing this? That did he know he was committing a crime? Right?
Let me tell you, I've been flued out so many times. I did not know that I was trafficked.
Were you giving money when you leave?
You know what I'm saying?
You know, let me not mind your business.
Yes, I was getting money. I'm not going to fly away for free. You know what I mean? So I didn't know.
I don't know if that. I'm just saying, if you bringing in prostitutes, that is actually illegal.
Well, yes.
Okay.
Well, take a listen to the latest with Loren LoRosa, the podcast, guys, because we broke it down, and I'll break it down more after today. But really quick as we wrap, I did want to take some time to shout out Jason Lee and Hollywood Unlocked. They did their 5th annual Impact Awards over the weekend in LA. You know, Keke Palmer was honored, Don Lemon was honored, Fantasia, Vic Mensa, Tiffany Haddish hosted, and
there's a lot of beautiful black people there.
Oh my God, there were so many big names there. They did a mic pass. Keke Palmer sung, Yolanda Adams sung. Yolanda Adams actually spoke some life into Jason Lee. Let's play that audio as we wrap.
What God has entrusted in your hands is something so special. Don't let anybody with agendas come in and erase what your heart desire told the Lord you wanted to do years ago. You know what you and God be talking about in your private time? It's manifesting. It's manifesting. There are very few people who can get Hollywood, sports, corporate America, and just regular average people who love God all together. That anointing is on you. That's why God had to change the direction of everything that was going on.
Jason Lee doesn't get enough credit for what he's built with the Hollywood Unlocked Awards, because you think about all of the platforms that, you know, existed before Hollywood Unlocked and had the cachet to do that, but didn't. But for him to actually have the idea to do it and execute it, and it's become so, you know, culturally relevant in such a short period of time. Dropping the clues bombs for Jason Lee.
Absolutely.
We always talk about what we should be doing. We should be building our own awards and all that type of stuff. And he actually went to go do it. So yeah, shout out to the Impact Awards.
And then not only that, like you said, Jess, he did it and then he flipped it and then jumped into politics and then started building up his own community. So salute to Jason Lee, man.
Definitely.
He actually been doing it all at the same time, which is actually more impressive. Jason Lee will get up there and shade somebody and then go be passing legislation and stuff.
That's right.
The same day.
Right.
And then get the biggest names in Hollywood to show up to an award ceremony.
I wish you would tell me what I can't do, God damn it.
I know that's right.
Dropping the clues bombs for Jason Lee again. Like that guy.
All right. Well, that is the latest with Loren. Now, when we come back, we got the People's Choice Mix. It's the Breakfast Club. Good morning.
Wake up. Wake that ass up.
Early in the morning.
The Breakfast Club.